Your presence makes us feel proud, and it's a matter of immense pleasure for me to extend a warm welcome to you, sir. Welcome, sir. Next, I would like to welcome our Vice Principal, Reverend Dr. Lalu Alikal, who is known among all of us for his wisdom and knowledge. Welcome you, Father. Now, I wholeheartedly welcome all the Indian advisory members who chair the session for the evaluation of papers presented. Next, I would like to welcome the zonal members who have taken efforts to promote our program across the world. Next, I would like to welcome all the participants who are from various universities, Yuvakshetrians and Yuvakshetra alumni who present papers on this conference. Last but not the least, I welcome all my colleagues, my team, who always stand with me with their sincere efforts and hard work. Welcome. I would like to conclude my speech by encouraging the delegates to actively participate in all the activities and discussions through digital platforms for the next 2 days. I hope you all will find the conference worth attending and participating at the end of the day. Wishing you all an enriching, fruitful, and safe conference. Thank you very much. Again, once again, welcoming you all. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much. Okay, now it is high time for the presidential address. Now we will wait for our director, Matthew George Warrell, to do the presidential address.
Good morning. Congratulations to the Yushetra Department of Management for organizing an international conference on management in uncertain environment. Every conference aims to encourage discussions about research and strategies for addressing uncertainty and the opportunities created by changes in the emerging markets. Concepts of uncertainty have long been at the heart of many of the core paradigms used in strategic advantages as well as organizational behavior. Increase in the levels and types of uncertainty potentially has important implications for the durability of firm advantages, the ways firms learn and adapt, approaches for managing innovation and knowledge, and the attractiveness of different strategies and organizational models. In this COVID pandemic, this conference gave new insights and visions for new enterprises and for new endeavors to take place. Wishing you all the best for this conference, those who are presenting papers and participating in it. Wish you all the best. Once again, congratulations to Yuvakshetra College's Department of Management Studies. Thank you.
Now, I invite Dr. Tommy Anthony, our beloved principal of Yogshetra Institute of Management Studies, for his benedictory address.
Hello, good morning to all of you. I'm Tommy Anthony, Principal of Yorkshire College. Reverend Father Dr. Matthew George Wari, the person who presides this meeting. Professor Stanley Oliver, the person who inaugurates this international conference. And Reverend Father Dr. Joby from Italy. And the evaluators, we have two panel today. Dr. Joyce Thomas from Christ University, and also Dr. Devi Premnath. And we have another panel, Dr. Ramalakshmi and Dr. Deepa Venugopal. A warm good morning to all of you once again. I'm very happy to be part of this international conference. The topic is management in uncertain environment, mainly about this COVID period. This conference will be helpful to avoid your anxiety, your apprehension about this COVID. Dear friends, is a new technique of online paper presentation. So I wish all the very best to all of you for this international paper presentation. Also, I'm taking this opportunity to congratulate our management department for organizing such a very good international conference. Thank you.
ഒരു മിനിറ്റ്. Yes, thank you, sir. Now, the most awaited session of this day, our professor, Dr. Stanley Oliver, is here now. He's about to inaugurate our function.
Good day, everyone. Dear College Director, Reverend Dr. Matthew George, College Principal Dr. Tommy Anthony, College Vice Principal Reverend Dr. Joseph Lalu Lalikal, Head of Department of Management, Mrs. Salaya, Program Coordinators, Dr. Ramya and Dr. Joseph. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my great pleasure to welcome you all to the opening of the inaugural two-day international virtual conference on management in an uncertain environment. I would like to highlight the importance of this conference and the issues of business and society in the context of the present worldwide crisis with coronavirus, or COVID-19 as it is now called. I believe this conference gives us the opportunity to start sharing business knowledge and information, especially in this COVID-19 era. But how can information and knowledge help organizations cope with COVID-19 disruption? I will personally build upon this question in my presentation later today. It is important to note that given the rapid pace of technology change, the growing frequency of mergers and acquisitions, and the introduction of new business models, the business world expected disruption to be a major theme for 2020-21. But like everyone else, no one expected that a global pandemic would create so much uncertainty with businesses all around the world. As a result of COVID-19, organizations are having to make an abrupt shift to remote virtual working. In many organizations, these suddenly remote employees are likely to struggle. They may not be able to access needed documents and information stored on local area networks. They may not know where to find answers when they are unable to go over to colleagues' desks for help like they normally do. They may struggle to remain on task without the structure of face-to-face in-person meetings like they used to. Nevertheless, knowledge management has the approaches to help organizations cope with these challenges. Organizations, in my opinion, need to be proactive and must review their information, knowledge, and the management of these strategies to step up and show their value as visionary leaders. This conference adopts a timely theme on management in uncertain environment. Management and leadership especially has penetrated virtually all areas of operations and entwined with our business practices. To effectively benefit from this, it is essential that we share our knowledge and experiences and keep identifying effective ways for transformations with these contexts. If you look at the conference program, you will agree that this inaugural conference is going to be busy and productive. There is a lot to offer for a virtual two-day event. I would like to take this opportunity to thank the conference organizing committee for their diligent work. I would also like to thank you, the participants, especially those of you contributing from overseas, for joining us and sharing your valuable experience and ideas. It is essential to bring together experts in the field of management and leadership so that we can realize together the potential of management in an uncertain environment. In closing, I hope that you all will enjoy networking and sharing your knowledge wherever possible. In addition to this, I wish everyone a very pleasant virtual conference experience. I therefore thank you and wish you all the best over the next few days.
Thank you, Professor. It was really nice of you to come online and do this inauguration from UK. Thank you so much, sir. Now we are moving on to the felicitation of our international conference on management in uncertain environment, organized by Department of Management, Yorkshire Institute of Management Studies. I invite Reverend Dr. Joseph Lalu Olikunel to do the felicitation. Now we can all hear the felicitation of our Vice Principal, Joseph Lalu Olikunel. Thank you.
Respected dignitaries who are present in this webinar and dear participants. We are witnessing an international conference based on the theme Management in Uncertain Environment. This theme is very relevant these days because COVID has changed all the situations and we are trying to adjust with the new environment and surroundings. And when we are here to participate in such a conference, first of all, I would like to congratulate the Department of Management of Yokshetra Institute of Management for arranging such a session. And also, I would like to extend my congratulations and best wishes to all the participants of this program. And I hope that this conference will be an occasion to express yourself in ideas so that your ideas will be useful for the whole world. So wish you all the best. Let this conference be a nice occasion for all the participants. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Father. Thank you for inspiring us. Now we are going to the ending of our ceremony of this international conference on management and uncertain environment organized by Department of Management, Yokshetra Institute of Management Studies. I invite Dr. Ramya J, Professor at Department of Management, Yokshetra Institute of Management Studies. Ma'am, I highly welcome you, ma'am.
Honorable Chief Guest, Professor Stanley Oliver, respected Director, Principal, Vice Principal, our most valued invited guests, ladies and gentlemen. It is a great privilege for me to express warm and sincere thanks on behalf of this two-day international conference on management in uncertain environment. I, Dr. Ramya J, on behalf of the Department of Management, extend a very hearty vote of thanks to all speakers for gracing your important work and sharing with us your findings and opinion today. We are all here today to Professor Stanley for his stimulating and timely remark and his gracious participation in this inaugural session. He is the right person to demonstrate the role of leadership and employee responsibility faced during this pandemic situation. Bibe for their prayer. Once again, I want to state that we all are most grateful to all speakers on the stage. We thank you for being with us today. It's a great pleasure. Thank you very much.
Thank you, ma'am. Now we are officially, the ceremony is all over. Now we are waiting for our keynote addresses from our two eminent personalities, Professor Stanley Oliver and Reverend Father Joby Kunatetu from Italy. Now we can hear our keynote address for this international conference on management in uncertain environment, organized by Department of Management, Yogakshetra Institute of Management Studies, Palakkad, Kerala. Sir, you get your session. You can take the session. Participants, kindly wait for 2 or 3 minutes. There's some technical difficulty from UK as there is facing very bad weather. Kindly wait for 2 or 3 minutes. Dear participants, there has been a small difficulty in this in the weather over there in the United Kingdom. So what Professor has done is that for as a bystand, he has given us a recorded video of himself regarding the keynote address. Now we shall hear the keynote address. Once he is able to rejoin to our link, he will be coming back soon. So in the meanwhile, what he had done is that he had given us a recorded video of the keynote address. Kindly wait for
By
us.
taking the opportunity to thank the conference organizing committee for inviting me to your conference and for giving me the opportunity to talk about leadership and employee responsibility during uncertainty and the impact that this will have on organizational performance, clients, and society. I would like to highlight the importance of your conference and the issue of business and society in the context of the present worldwide crisis. The COVID-19 pandemic is considered as the most crucial global health calamity of the century and the greatest challenge that humankind has faced since the Second World War. According to the report of the World Health Organization, the current outbreak of COVID-19 has affected over 2 million people and killed more than 150,000 people in more than 200 countries throughout the world. It has rapidly spread around the world, posing enormous health, economic, environmental, and social challenges to the whole human population. The coronavirus outbreak is severely disrupting the global economy. What started as a health crisis has become an economic crisis and is now turning into a social crisis. In many countries, more than 10% of the population are unemployed. Among them, a significant number of young people. We are also in a deep crisis of values. During success and services, I think we need to return to a value-based system. People are motivated not only by money, but also by a sense of service to our community. Please note the conference committee. Your conference provides a very important platform to discuss business and how it is changing and what impact it may have on our communities, our clients, and our organizations.
Participants, kindly wait for 2 minutes. Just a small error. Just kindly wait for 2 minutes, please.
Organizational performance. Let me start talking about uncertainty. It's all about doubt, mistrust, skepticism, and suspicion. That's where we are in these uncertain times. But with regards to management decisions, it's all about which way to go.
Sorry, participants. It's buffering is going on. We know the internet connections. There's a difficulty is there, so kindly be patient because the internet buffering is happening. That's why, please.
It's because most businesses are experiencing downturns. This means lots of tough decisions. It brings in risk with these decisions, whether you make good choices or bad choices, and whether or not this will lead to being successful In the UK, we have the problem will our banks support us as businesses? Will they make us change our business plans? What will happen? That uncertainty around the financial implications of whether we have enough funds to do what we need to do. There's also a lot of discussion around will our government help and what will they do and how can they affect our situation? And then, last but not least, how will our staff reacting to the situation? Are they being reactive to all the issues, or are they being proactive in trying to find solutions? It is important to realise that all businesses and industry sectors are feeling insecure. However, COVID-19 is impacting everywhere. And if you look at the impact on manufacturing and automotive sector, 98% of manufacturers are now openly trading in the UK, with over 40% of them have seen their orders reduced from 26 down to 26% and 50% of their normal orders. There's over a quarter of the firms have furlonged their staff, and they've furlonged about 26% to 50% of their staff, very similar to the downturn. We have a scheme in the UK which is apprenticeships for our young developing graduates and young people leaving school. Of the companies that are engaged with this activity, 44% of them are saying they're going to continue doing it. However, more than 40% plan to start making redundancies in the next 6 months, with 1/5 of manufacturers are already operating at 25% to 50% of their full capacity. But it's not just manufacturing. The same thing is happening in the global sector. You know, the COVID-19 effectors indicates that the global stock markets staged a remarkable comeback with regards to the UK pound sterling. As well as finance, manufacturing and automotive, hospitality and tourism in the UK is really being hit hard. And these figures show that these sectors are the hardest hit in the UK, with just 11% of hospitality businesses being able to operate normally during the lockdown. And that international tourist arrivals are way down, and it's likely to be down to 59% for the year. Because all the industry sectors are insecure, and it's difficult to talk about all the sectors, I'm going to concentrate on looking at education, and I'm going to specifically look at higher education, where I'm engaged with fully in a big way, because the effect is seen across our sector as it is with any of the other sectors. If we look at higher education in the UK, let's look at a bit of background. There have been some significant changes over the last 4 months. You know, there's impact on staff where they're now, academic staff that is, where they're now working remotely. They're using laptops and PCs at home to do online teaching and attend virtual staff meetings. It's affecting our students big style. They're studying online. Many of them are living in accommodation that they can no longer afford, and they are moving away from the university campuses to go back home to study rather than study on campus. We're finding that because of this, we've got lots of empty buildings. And it's affecting all of the employers that we engage with. So what we're finding is all our placements, our internships, and the jobs, the careers for our students, there's a huge reduction there. We're being asked as academics to be more innovative with our online engagement to make it more interesting for our students. And there's now concerns about whether or not students will want to go to university, what the applications will be like for the next year. If we look at what's happening in our university life, I've said, let's look at the learning economy after the pandemic, and I've called it a leap. And it's a leap into the unknown because who knows what's going to really happen. But here's some questions that I think are worth looking at. How should the learning model be developed, for example? Should it be developed to obtain maximum student engagement? Should it be developed so that we connect with students and promote team working and collaborative study? Should it be developed so that we incorporate more practical work and the traditional on-campus activities like lab work? Should we consider study durations and review the traditional 3-year route to a degree? Is the old model necessary or sustainable? How will we or should we incorporate the social and networking activities with our online learning? Will it enhance it? This boards for other questions. Is the traditional lecture the most effective form of tuition? Will the current funding model based on expensive estates and campus activities be sustainable? Is the concept of a university campus dead? Will students be prepared to fund their education at the full fee in the UK, which has been traditionally charged for on-campus delivery? Or is there scope for a more flexible delivery model? For example, a flexible model delivered in bite-sized chunks over a different time scale and a different frequency to suit working or personal circumstances of the students or our clients of tomorrow. Given all of the possibilities of distance learning and online learning, how might that change? How can we best use the talents of employers and professionals in practice to get more involved with the curriculum to make sure that what we're delivering is suitable for the industry that our students are going into? Could they be more involved with some of the delivery of the academic components of a program? All questions that are worth considering as we go into a very uncertain and unknown future. Some of the unique issues to be faced. Traditionally in the UK, 18-year-olds, those who graduate from our schools have used university as a natural progression from school to higher education, with both university recruitment and teaching linked to the qualifications that they get, which are A-levels. Many school leavers see university as the only choice upon leaving school. Many 18-year-olds see university as a means of escaping from home and enjoying themselves for 3 years, getting that independence, helping them develop those life skills. And will they still be attracted into higher education without this opportunity if it's all going to be online? Let's look at some of the answers to this. The answers are based on stakeholders' perceptions with some tangible metrics related to funding and the economy. Whatever happens from here on, the higher education landscape must change, and a new model needs to and will be developed, I'm sure. Policymakers in the UK government and universities are working on this now. But we, those of us involved with this activity, need to focus on some single aspect of this. And I think the area that's important is our commitment to what we do. And I think we need to look at how we're going to lead ourselves into this unknown. What is our responsibilities as employees into this unknown during this period of uncertainty, making sure that we're creating a nice solid foundation for the future. And the reason for this is a sector we can influence. It's where we have our greatest inputs. So I think we need to prepare for our future and provide positive, innovative stimulus into our organizations, into our universities, that is, into our communities, into our societies, and into and with our students, our clients. What is the leadership responsibility during uncertainty? Well, it's about managing the impact by owning the problems and issues that is being accountable for finding solutions to the problems and issues by being visionary for the future, being entrepreneurial and using different methodologies like bricolage. In other words, what's at our fingertips? What can we use? What's effective? What's low cost? Building new partnerships locally with our communities, with our industries, nationally, with our governments and with the big industrial sectors, and globally, adding other universities, similar universities, see if we can share things out, share knowledge, share experiences, share activities. We need to start trusting, the leaders need to trust the employees to do the tasks at hand. Trust the communities that we're in will come and support, and we will support them. Trust our students in turning up and giving their commitment. Being transparent and inclusive with the strategies and plans so everybody understands why we're having to change, why we're doing things differently, why this new course of action. Empowering staff to contribute, giving them the ability to be innovative, doing the same with our stakeholders, and bringing students more into the involvement of where they're going with their careers. At the same time, being frugal with our planning of expenditure, but being creative in finding ways to stimulate more and more innovation, motivating and communicating positively with everybody. Moving on to employee responsibility during these uncertain times, we need to see positively engaging with the impact by positively engaging with the problems and issues. In other words, being accountable for finding solutions. Doing this by being responsive to strategy and tasks, trusting of team members, stakeholders, and students, resilient to change and tasks ahead, economical with the use of resources, innovative in tasks, supportive and available in teamwork. If we now move on to uncertainty as it moves forward with time and we start to get more information, as we do this, we're able to identify the issues and the problems in more detail. That makes us able to define solutions that are able to meet the problems and issues and then deliver them. So that's because as the uncertainty declines with time, more and more information becomes available. As the uncertainty changes, then so does the decision making. Management decisions become more positive. They know which way to go. Business performance starts changing with an upward trend if we get it right and we have led and followed all of the right positive actions, easier decisions, which means the risk reduces because our choices get better and we become more successful. In the UK, we're starting to find that banks are saying, yes, they will help as long as we follow the guidance that they gave us. We're also finding our government is helping by creating new policies and supporting industries, especially the smaller industries that don't have the big resources built up. And we're starting to find that staff are being much more proactive in trying to make sure that they have careers for the future. If we now look at building positive impact, first with our organisation, let's say the university that we're in, then we need to take an inclusive look at the university vision and mission with staff, students, local industry and local communities. We need to continue building those partnerships locally, nationally and globally. When we do the international partnerships, especially with universities, by working together on qualifications, for example, new types of qualifications, different subject areas, working on research, joint publications, joint grant proposals. We can look at the new delivery, and I've spoken about this before earlier, bringing in all of these aspects. And the way in which we deliver it, I've spoken about that earlier as well. We need to look at how we can use the talents of professionals in practice. I mentioned that earlier also. And I've also talked about using the talents of our students. I think getting them involved in community projects, getting them supporting each other's peers so that learning gets deeper and greater understanding. But we also need to be building positive community impact in our societies. Being again inclusive, but looking specifically at our local communities. An example of this is the partnership between university and local government in the UK, where research was conducted with the aim of challenging what happens in the district. The type of research that we did, but it's pretty much transferable everywhere, was improving English with our learners. Looking at the issues with young people having a school choice. Is it the nearest school? Is it the right type of school? The effectiveness of the kindergarten and pre-kindergarten programs. What are the problems, the issues with high school dropout? Why have our young people not completing their studies? And there's lots more of other areas that you can research. And what we found was the district was able to use that information, those reports, with their decision making. And it started to strengthen the communities, bringing it to the attention of the value of our university with our government. It also attracted considerable benevolent support from civic-minded allies who supported the university's local engagement. Pursuing positive social impact by harnessing the talent and knowledge of our university faculty is very important. But that's about making sure that their workloads enables them to fit it in, to see it valued in how we allocate timetables to our staff and rewarding them for doing well in these areas. And making sure we bring our students into this equation also. I'm going to look at a short video now, and it's about a low-cost lighting project in the Philippines. And we're just going to look at a few minutes of this.
It was 36 degrees Celsius outside, and the sun could not have shone brighter. But in the Asaitona residence in the town of San Pedro, just south of Manila, you'd never guess what time of the day it was. The heat of the summer could be felt inside the house, all right, but none of the sunlight could get in. In every corner of the house, there was just darkness.
Even if you just want to get some water, you'd have to turn on the light.
It had been that way for years, but that's about to change. Demi Bukas and his sons have come to install lights, not like the electric bulbs they already have, but ones that are cheap, healthy, and energy efficient.
People in this community used to never see the light of day in their homes, but with a soda bottle, water, and simple tools, they never had to live in darkness anymore.
The technology is amazingly simple. All you have to do is fit the metal sheet around a plastic bottle, fill it with water, add chlorine, bare a hole on the roof, insert the bottle, then seal it, and there you have it, 55 watts of clean and free solar light.
I think that this is the opportunity to use the talents of our students to get involved with our community in projects similar to this. It's the beginning of being positive with student impact. Thank you very much for listening to me, and I look forward to hearing your comments at some stage. Bye for now.
Yes, thank you, sir. I hope things are getting better over there in the United Kingdom, in your place in Newcastle. Okay, now we are moving to our next keynote speaker, Reverend Father Joby Kunatetu. He is from Italy. He is currently right now in Germany. He has gone for some other programs and meetings. And he is also along with us. Kindly wait for 1 minute. He will be joining us soon. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. It's my privilege to have been asked by Reverend Father Joseph Olikel to give these key.
Yes, a small error is also because the entire Europe is facing a small, weather situation. Now, before we start, I will introduce our next keynote speaker by myself. He is Father Joby Kunatetu. He is a Catholic priest belonging to the Diocese of Palakkad, hailing from the parish of Josgiri, Vadakunjeri. He has ordained priesthood in the year 2005 on December 31st. And he had his priestly studies from St. Thomas Apostolic Seminary, Vadavantur in Kottayam district in Kerala. He had obtained licentiate in clinical psychology and psychotherapy from the Gregorian University, Rome, Italy. Then he had worked as the joint director of Sanjo College of Pharmaceutical Studies, and he's also the founder, manager of Sanjo Central School, Vellapara in Kerala. He had training on free society and liberty from the Action Institute, Michigan, United States of America, serving as a psychotherapist in different European countries as of now. Right now, working as the vice rector of Pontificio Collegio Urbano in Vatican City in Rome. 4 years and pursuing his doctoral research in family psychology at the St. Thomas Aquinas University, Rome, Italy. Now, he's a very well person who is there to help us out and who is there to give us a very good keynote session on this pandemic situation. Father, over to you.
Keynote address for the International Conference on Management in Uncertain Environments. Here my focus will be on the psychological application in uncertain environments. Events that cannot be expected. And it seems that such events are much more common in our daily life. This topic deserves our special attention since we are in the times of the COVID emergency. As the word uncertain signifies, each and every uncertain environment brings uncertainty and insecurity in our lives. Also, it brings anxiety, stress, burnout, and even depression. The reaction to these feelings varies from person to person, and it is unique to each one. For some, it's a time of loss, and for the other, it's a time of gain. Here we speak about the lost people. The studies on life events prove that dangerous life-changing events can happen in uncertain events. In those events, people can consider a major revision of their assumptions about the world, or they receive little opportunity for preparation to confront the new situation. The uncertain environment makes necessary transitions in the life of all. It takes place over a short period of time. It can affect all the family members. It may restructure the nature of employment. It brings financial and business changes, and it transforms our social settings. The British psychiatrist Colin Murray Parks uses the term psychosocial transitions to mention these all life-changing events. We all have an assumptive world that are to be experienced. But the experience of this reality must be founded on and fostered by optimism. In reality, the human mind has a natural urge to overcome life's difficulties. It has a psychological flexibility, which means that traumatized people have a natural tendency to survive their painful experiences and enjoy their life to the full. The act of resilience is the functional aspect of the enjoyment of life in its fullest. From my experiences, I can say that our coping mechanisms, social connectedness, and spiritual power behave as structured and disciplined corps that are concerned for the survival of each single individual. I would like to leave with you the words of Albert Einstein. The world is a dangerous place, not because of those who do evil, but because of those who look on and do nothing. In the same way, the uncertain environment is a dangerous place for those who look on and do nothing. So avoid the indifference. It's really hopeful that individuals who are undergoing uncertain environmental situations and that government authorities are aware of their need for help and are glad to collaborate with each other to overcome times of crisis. So it is much more important to know the vulnerability of the person in transition at the time of uncertain events. I wish you all the best in leading a life enhanced with coping mechanisms filled with optimism and opportunities. My thanks to the management, staff, and students of Yuvakshetra Institute of Management Studies for the opportunity to join you for today's international conference. Thanks for listening.
Yes. Now the entire sessions are all over. Now there's a common instruction which I need to give you all for the participants. It is that there will be a 10 minutes break will be there. So by 11:10, everyone has to come back again. And another common instruction which I need to give you all is that chair 1 will be continuing from here itself in this same Google Meet link. And chair 2 link will be given. It's already given to you all. So you can go and join over there. Before that, I will just give a small introduction. Sorry, not introduction. The list of participants who have to be there in the chair 1. Yes, chair 1 people are Shakti Ganesh, Ramakrishnan and Tennarasa, Govind Kiran, Ajay K. Jason, Amrita P, Deepa K, and Abhirami coordinated with Shilpa. So these people have to be here within 5 to 10 minutes time. And you will be chaired by Dr. Rejoice Thomas, Christ University, Bangalore, and also by Dr. Devi Premnath from Jansen's Business School. And at the same time, chair 2 is by the participants' names are Chitralekha, Sarin Raju Ashwati P, then Abhishek P, Praveen Kumar S, Ashwin S, Seema, and Reshma. These people have to be in chair 2. The link and details of chair 2 is already given to your WhatsApp link. In the ICMUE 2020 WhatsApp link, it is given. So right now, you can disperse for 5 minutes time and then come back. And another instruction is that before participants, I will be calling out the person who is going to the video which is given, the recorded video which is going to show. I will call the person. So that person has to respond and be live, be on live. Once the video recording is over, then you can, the discussion starts. So at that time, the person has to come online and then do the discussions. Okay? I hope it is very clear. During the discussions, I will call out the person and I will inform to be online, and then I will play the video of the paper presentation. And after the video, you have to be online for discussion. So 5 minutes break. Thank you. You can go back and come back within 5 minutes time or 10. Now it's like 11 o'clock over here. By 11:10, we will be starting up. By this time, the chair 2 people can go and join in the other group. And one more instruction. Third BBA students of Yuvakshetra Institute of Management Studies, you have to remain in this same Google Meet link. And second year BBA students of Yuvakshetra Institute of Management Studies, you people have to move to the second chair. I hope it is all clear. Now, no doubts will be there. Thank you. You can leave for now and come back by 11:10. Thank you. Welcome back again, participants. Now we are in the chair one of our international conference. I am welcoming our two judges, or we can say as the panel members, Dr. Rejoice Thomas and Dr. Devi Premnath. I am introducing Dr. Rejoice Thomas. He's a professor at Christ deemed to be University, Bangalore, Karnataka. He's a person with eminent and prime publication records in the field of HR and management. He has published articles in the range of Scopus, Web of Science, and many international and national journals. He has made his paper presentation in different universities across India, and he had participated in many workshops, faculty development programs, and training programs. And he is the most elite personality whom we can bring for this international conference on management in uncertain environment, organized by the Department of Management, Yogshetra Institute of Management Studies, Palakkad, Kerala. Now, I also giving our introduction to Dr. Devi Premnath. She is a professor in Janssen School of Business, Coimbatore, Tamil Nadu. And she has a very big profile on research and teaching interest are in marketing and branding and systems. She's a university rank holder, an undergraduate and postgraduate level, and has also qualified UGC and SLET examinations in the year 2005. She has to her credit a few articles and international and national journals in reputed ones in Scopus, Web of Science, and other journals. She's an editor of some of the literary assignments, as well as a speaker who has delivered lectures in various management institutes. Her research and scholarship interests are in branding and advertising, and she had book reviews in Beyond the Last Blue Mountain by R.M. Lala in Gyandeep National Journal, and also she had a review in the book of IIM Ahmedabad story, IIMA story, The DNA of an Institution by Praful Anubai, again by Gyandeep National Journal. And she's one of the very interesting and very prominent resource person, or we can say our panel member or the judge who can bring us out with interesting insights for you participants on your working papers, your articles, and so on. So I welcome these two eminent professors for this international conference on your paper presentation. Now, to begin with, I am requesting Mr. Shakti Ganesh. Mr. Shakti Ganesh. Yes, Mr. Shakti Ganesh, I would request you to join, be there in the presentation, be there at the moment. Be there in the moment. Yes, I can see you. Is it possible? You're able to see me? My voice also clear? Yes. Yes. Okay. Yes, sir. Kindly be there. Yes. Okay, just wait for a minute, Shakti Ganesh.
Sure, sir.
Shakti Ganesh, just one more minute. I'm expecting Dr. Rejoice Thomas. Just kindly wait for one more minute, please. Kindly
No,
wait
no
for
problem, sir.
Okay, just wait for one more minute. He has just finished the class and he'll be joining us soon. Just 1
Sure,
minute,
sir.
please.
No problem. No problem. Take your time, sir.
Other participants, you also get ready. After Shakti Ganesh, Ramakrishnan and Tennarasa will be joining. Ramakrishnan and Tennarasa will be joining. Yes, sir has joined us right now. Just 1 second. Good morning, sir. Dr. Rejoice Thomas. Dr. Rejoice Thomas. Sir. Dr. Rejoice Thomas, sir. Are you able to hear me? Dr. Rejoice Thomas.
Good afternoon. Good morning, everybody.
Yes, yes, sir. Sir, our introduction is about, regarding the panel members are already done. Now the paper presentation is about to start. Our participant, Mr. Shakti Ganesh, is awaiting. Shall I do the play the recorded video? Dr. Devi, ma'am, if you can give a yes, I can directly start off. Okay.
Very well, sir. Very well. Waiting for the
Thank
recorded video. And good morning to Dr. Rejoice as well for joining into the panel. Good morning, sir.
Yes, ma'am.
Home first finance company versus other banks. First of all, housing is important. Owning a house is just hype, which is a gateway of long-term and short-term financial success. A house can make a home difference for a financial future, especially for a first-time home buyer. While buying a home you can transform transformative experience for a personally. Home ownership
The sound is not clear, sir.
home ownership can lead
We
to
can't hear what he is
stability,
speaking.
or a fair market value, which is likely increase over time based. Now, the both market and ready innovation to make their home. There are
It's
many
not
reasons to
audible.
buy a home, build a home, owning a home. Most of them stem from the fact that the homes are set and paying mortgage.
Sorry, 1 second. The Shakti Ganesh, I think Devi Madam is saying that 1 second, 1 second.
increases your equity in that asset, which is better than paying rent itself. And there are social various cultures in housing also, which is like
Is it
generally
audible?
housing of upper caste situation.
Is it audible, ma'am?
Housing of lower caste are scheduled, which is they are also scheduled.
Is it
It's
audible,
okay.
ma'am?
It's okay. I'll manage it, sir.
Okay, okay. Rejoice, sir, you are also able to hear it now? Okay.
It's not very clear, but
backward classes in the periphery of the village. These periphery regions are mostly in the low-lying areas and unhygienic also. Then, for example, the shift from joint families to nuclear family, this is tendency put pressures on the available land for housing. In Punjab,
Shall I play it from the beginning again?
Pressure is visible in Rajasthan.
Dr. Devi, ma'am, Dr. Rejoice, shall I play it from the beginning?
Pressure may be felt so far.
If you want.
I think the voice quality is going to be the same even if you play from the beginning, isn't it? Okay, just once more, we'll give it a try then.
Okay, fine, fine. Yes,
Finance company versus other banks. First of all, housing is important. Owning a house is just high, which is a gateway of long-term and short-term financial success. A house can make a home difference for a financial future, especially for a first-time home buyer. While buying a home you can transform transformative experience for personally. Home ownership helps you financially achieve well. Home ownership can lead to building a personal wealth due to home equity or a fair market value, which is likely increase over time based on both market and ready innovation to make their home. There are many reasons to buy a home, build a home, owning a home. Most of the stem from the fact that the home is asset and paying mortgage increases your equity in that asset, which is better than paying rent itself. And there are social various cultures in housing also, which is like generally housing of upper caste or situation the better area, and avoid housing of lower caste or schedule which they also schedule some backward classes are situated in the periphery of the village. These periphery regions are mostly low-lying areas and unhygienic also. Then, for example, the shift from joint families to nuclear family, this is tendency put pressures on the available land for housing. In Punjab and Haryana, this pressure is visible. In Rajasthan, where disparate settlement pattern exchange, the pressure may be felt so far. And generally, house in rural area which are locally available in building material, technology and manpower, expect due to rural families. In urban areas, building material used to industrial origin and durable. And there is a resident housing investment also. Investment and housing, which is riskier than having a fixed deposit in the bank. The reason is that the prices and flats rise most of the time, but at the time such price remains constant or even falls for the period of risk. It's not a doubt. A bank provides most of the funds needed for the purchase of the loan or building a loan, but the house owner who bears the risk he or she is responsible for paying back the loan of the market price of the house, and there was an interest rate and changes price and tax benefit effect also. The demand for the houses and the flats depends on large extent on the interest rate. For most people who buy houses by taking loans, the interest rate is the cost of the loans, and people do not borrow funds to buy houses and stuff. But then the rate of interest is which affects the decision to buy or construct houses. Then home loan. If you see me, there is a home loan. There are several types of home loan available on the market itself. But the home loan is a type which is defined by 4 factors. The factors of principal, the amount of money you borrowing, the amount is typically the purchase price minus the down payment. Then term, how much, how long you need to pay the loan, and the interest rate, the annual amount if you need to pay the lender to borrow the money. Then the repayment frequency, which is how often you make payments. Borrowers usually pay back their mortgages on monthly or bi-weekly payment. And impact on GST on a home loan. There are several impact of GST on home loan. GST on real estate means which is affordable sector, affordable housing 8% with the input tax credit, which is GST rate till before March 2019, and after that 1st April 2019 there was a GST of 1% without input tax credit, and non-affordable housing 12% with the input tax credit on GST rate before March 2019, and after GST April 2019 5% without input tax credit. First is and unaffordable housing as per GST cost up to 45 lakhs, and the measurement which is needed is 60 square feet as per other metropolitan areas like Chennai, Hyderabad, Mumbai. And if you consider housing in other cities which is affordable housing cost up to 45 lakhs and has to be 90 square meters, and there's a GST for maintenance charges and housing societies, and GST on rent also 18%, which has been I don't know clearly, but I can say GST on 80% of residential flats is charged as rental income under the new revenue if the rent is above if the rent amount pay exceeds 20 lakhs. In case that landlords have to register themselves to pay the GST on the rental income and GST on home loan. So that's the GST on home loan means we need to pay the GST charge and processing fee, technical valuation fee, and legal fee. And there's a government schemes which they have mentioned. These government schemes are Jawaharlal Nehru urban schemes and Yojana schemes. There are also GSTs which is of 1% only. And moving on to my project is what I have done is I have just compared the Home First Finance Company versus other bank, how customers are feeling about the banks, will they are interested to taking loans on the bank, which banks are there, to make the affordable analysis of home loans policy, what are the policies available by HDFC, ICICI, Axis Bank, Yes Bank, and HDFC Bank, and which is to understand and compare how customer rate the service and procedures for the loan applicable in HDFC and Yes Bank, and what are the services they provide, what are the features they provide, are the customers satisfied with the home loan which they offer. And I have collected my data by using primary data, sending survey. This is all about descriptive data I have done about, and for what type of questions I have done is of age, gender, and thus people who are willing to take loan, what they are doing. They are being currently working, they have been professional or a businessman or income person, and do they do what type of home do they prefer, the flat or a villa or apartment, and what was their working experience, what income group does they belong, below 3 lakhs or 3 to 6 lakh, and what are the marital status, if they get married or not, what occupation do they offer, spouse do, is the government job or the professional or self-employed or a homemaker, and what type of house does they prefer to live, and does they own a house, do they have ever taken a home loan before itself, in future does they have any idea of taking home loan, and what type of which company does they prefer to take loan, and what type of loan does they prefer to take loan, home loan for construction, home loan extension property, home loan for balance transfer, and short loans, what type of problems does they face during obtaining home loans, and the rates and services and satisfaction level of the customer. This type of thing I have done in my project. Thank you.
Mr. Shakti Ganesh?
Yes, sir.
Yes. Okay. Now your paper presentation is over. Now the discussion time is starting.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am. Sir, you can ask.
Mr. Shakti Ganesh, as you have told about the affordability of, you're studying the affordability sector as far as the home loans are concerned, am I right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now, in your opinion, which bank, you have made a comparison between Home First Finance, isn't it?
Yes, ma'am.
Home First, that is HFFC, Home First Finance, as well as with HDFC and Axis Bank. According to you, which bank has responded really well during pandemic? Now, first you have to relate how your study is in response to this pandemic. And then the second question which follows is which bank has responded in a better way when it comes to making the home loans really affordable for the different sections of the society?
No. First of all, the affordable sector means a home loan which is nearly a cost of 45 lakhs and the land measuring of which is of 60 square feet, 60 square meters is of, which is for metropolitan cities like Chennai, Bangalore. And this is for first is affordable sector. And HFC is the company which gives a home loans instantly, which gives auto prepay everything, the documents and all. Proceeding is very fast and but the main thing is the interest rate is which is high. They charge the interest rate of 0.90%, which is compared to other banks. Which is they comparing to other banks, ICICI, Yes Bank, Axis Bank, they charge interest of the loan 7.90%, ma'am.
So you mean to say that Home First Finance is actually doing a better job, but they are more responding to this pandemic compared to the other banks?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And one more question that we'll do. Like in which category of occupation, like demographics, you have found a surge in acquiring home loans after this pandemic or in this uncertain environment, as the theme goes? You have made a study. You have made a study on how the demographics is related to the affordability of loan, isn't it? Like you have taken, as you told in your presentation, like the gender. Then you were talking about the different classes of occupation, income, everybody. So in that, when you take the demographics as a whole, like which class you find there is a surge or there is an increase in availing the home loans during this uncertain period. The uncertain period did not affect them, or they are still going for home loans during this uncertain period. Which occupation or which gender class or which income class?
Yes, but people who are in the economic weaker section are still mainly affected by this COVID era, but still they can't able to afford this get home loan also. But at this time also, government has sanctioned a home loan for female, which is by our Narendra Modi, which is of providing 2.5 lakhs of crores of houses to be built by within the year of 2022, which is the scheme scheme, and that process is also going on. By the way, home loans are also offering some of the things, and upper caste people are which is they are suited in the best areas, and whereas lower caste people are situated in some backward areas now. Which is especially like urban and rural areas.
Okay, thank you. That's from my side. Over to Dr. Rajas.
Thank you, ma'am. Mr. Ganesh, have you heard of a concept called as low income, no job loans? Ninja?
No, sir.
All right. What are the problems you find that those who are availing loans will default or moratorium? What are the different problems which you are finding or which you will foresee in the next coming 6 to 9 months?
Problems, some processing fees which is not refund and no indication about the varying interest rate. There will be interest which will be floating because the home loan which is good for salary people and self-employed people also, and dilemma on the interest rate. Sometimes which is the loan is also not sanctioned, and some people which are now educational but they don't know how to fill the form, and some which is problem faces which is the loan is rejected as a first officer, and they don't know about the policies about the home loan, and they have no explanation about it. And processing period of the home loan sometimes takes very long time.
Basically, okay. All right. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Shakti Ganesh. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Ramakrishnan Tennada, sir, please unmute. Mr. Ramakrishnan and Tennada, sir. Yes. Yes, sir. You can. Your video is about to play now. Your paper is about to play. Okay.
Yes.
Hello everyone. Hope you all are doing well and be safe. This is Ramakrishnan Sengaran, second year PGM student from Firewood Institute of Research and Management, Coimbatore. First of all, I wish to thank my management and our research guide, Mr. Joseph Francis, who helped us a lot during this research study. Thank you, sir. Coming to our topic is a summary of a literature review to identify the factors influencing in adoption of predictive maintenance in product manufacture in and around the district of Coimbatore. From the papers and research study which we observed and studied, we came to a fact that many of the factors which are adopted predictive maintenance because predictive maintenance it is a process which is used to determine the time period to estimate the maintenance. It reduces the cost of a breakdown over a period of time. Predictive maintenance is a broad area which has many techniques within it, such as missionary vibration analysis, infrared and ultraviolet thermography. Coming to the missionary vibration analysis, it is detection and diagnosis of fault. To be in brief, in vibration analysis, generally the vibration of the missionary is noted through a sensor. If a sensor senses a difference in the vibration notes readings, then it may send alert to a concerned person. So the missionary part, a specific part or a whole missionary could be changed. Coming to the infrared thermography, it is a process in which the high temperature imaging of missionary is done. The missionary reading is noted through maybe a software or any medium. The properties of missionary is noted, and when if the thermographic senses any differences in the properties of the missionary, might be through the difference in temperature, whether it might be increase in over a high temperature or it might be below to certain temperature. It again sends a signal to the concerned person, so that the missionary might be a whole missionary or a specific part might be changed. The discussion being carried out until now is all about having the predictive maintenance for missionary. Our idea is all about carrying the predictive maintenance into products, which may not be necessarily to be a missionary. It might be other than the missionaries. If we could carry the predictive maintenance for products,
Yes, sir.
it could increase the level of rate of
Yes, sir.
flexibility and the control over the product. It might be increased to the largest scale.
Hi, ladies and gentlemen. I am with the criminal system family here. I would like to add some point to Ramakrishnan. Whatever Ramakrishnan told, it's like the strategies and techniques of the predictive maintenance, which is used in manufacturing and maintenance, okay, in industry. Let's be going to talk about something interesting. Industry 4.0 using big data analysis. Industry 4.0 is just one of the industry, which is used in intelligent information processing approaches and communication system, and it's the future-oriented systems, right? More, however, it's highly complexity and automation and the flexibility of the industry, all time having the new challenges by increase and maintain the flexibility and this safety. And industry big data generation more data from the multiple resources, and the second thing is the multiple resources. Second thing is the communication system. Third one is like external relation of the industry, external relationships in the industry, and then it's back to the topic and the sources and the characteristics, how to getting the data from available in the industry. There is a huge space applicable to getting the data from the industry. The first one is the design data. Such data is getting from product and the missionary's operation. And the second thing is the product operations data. It is getting from control system and operation system. And the third one is the labor configuration and data. It's applicable for the manual record of the labor, and second one is the working progress video is the industry as a labor working process video, right? And the fourth one is the cost data. It's getting from the manufacturing process and operations. And the fourth one is the environmental data. Such a data is getting from weather conditions and the inter temperature of the industry. And the fifth one is the customer data. Customer data, this is available from the customer feedback and features of the customer. And the fourth one is the data usage data. Sorry for the product usage data. It's data available from the cost repairing of the machines and the product, and it's only for getting the cost data, right? And the product design data, it is data only applicable and available for the product design and quality and
காலை 8:30 மணி வரைக்கும் தூங்க எப்படி ஒரு
we are going to and components of the predictive minutes using. First one is the CPS, cyber physical security. Second is the IoT. IoT means like Internet of Things, and IoT means Internet of Service. Fourth one is the DM. DM is the data mining. There is 5 models are available in the using IoT and iOS and the CPS and data mining. The first one is the sensor and the data acquisition. Second one is the processing and the PHS extraction. Third one is the key performance indicator. Fifth one is the maintenance scheduling and optimizations. Sixth one is the maintenance. Like that means how to say. Maintain decision making, right? Actually, and the final one is the control feedback and compensation. These are all the techniques and getting the raw facts of the data. It is all the things useful for the data mining and the CPS and IoT and iOS. These are things. We are using after this before we should get the data from industry, device, product, weather, and customer. We are all the fourth under the data we should finding. Okay, there will be available for the 3 kinds of data. First one, the structured, unstructured, semi-structured. The structured data is not a problem, and the semi-structured and this unstructured data we should find the converting into the structured data. Why? Because structured data is only applicable and available for the using and converting into the analysis and analysis process, analysis and the analytical process. That's right. Actually, what finally I want to tell you one thing. Why I am great between predictive maintenance and data mining and IoT and IoT. That's the predictive maintenance that will be available for the lot of how to say there will be available for a lot of error data. Such kind of data we are not visualized, right? Actually, once we are using data mining and all the things we are such a lot of error data, we are finally converting and finding and converting into information. Such kind of information is very useful for predicting maintenance and giving the new solution for the big data industry. Thank you.
I want to make note that this is just an initial stage of preparing a summary from the literature review which we took for major research paper in adoption of predictive maintenance for the products. Finally, I wish to thank the organization which took greater efforts to conduct this event. Thank you. And I wish to thank our project guide, Mr. Joseph Francis, and my friends who helped me a lot to complete this research. Thank you all. And I wish you all to be safe in your home and be well. Stay.
Yes, Mr. Tannarasu and Ramakrishnan. Mr. Tannarasu and Ramakrishnan. Yes. Devi ma'am, Rejoice sir.
Yeah, Rejoice sir, please. You can start with the question. Please, Rejoice.
Honestly, I could not understand most of it.
Yeah, the audio quality was a little bit like very difficult to hear.
Yes, sir, because two sessions are simultaneously going on.
Yeah, we
Sorry for
understand.
that, ma'am. Sorry
No,
for that, ma'am.
no, we understand.
Yes.
It's mainly on predictive maintenance. That's what I come to know about it. My question to Ramakrishnan and Tannarasu is, which are the companies in Coimbatore where you find this predictive analytics and analysis maintenance happening?
Ma'am, it's not our whole research. We have just prepared a review regarding the research, and we are here.
No, you were talking about the predictive maintenance of the product manufacturer, isn't it?
Yes, ma'am.
In Coimbatore city. So where are the companies where predictive maintenance is happening? That's not your purview of your project?
Ma'am, usually companies don't undergo the predictive maintenance for products.
Okay.
They undergo the predictive maintenance just as the machineries, just as the production system.
Okay.
What in our research paper we are coming to say is we are going to undergo a research in finding the companies which are undergoing the predictive maintenance system in products, ma'am.
Okay, so I'm asking you, which are the companies which are actually involved in it in Coimbatore?
Ma'am, we are just gathering the information just now, ma'am.
Okay.
We are in the initial stage.
Okay, fine. Then you were talking about data mining and data warehousing and all that.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. How far is this predictive maintenance? Like you were talking about, how do you relate all this big data analysis and with the predictive maintenance? Like, what is the general process?
Yes, exactly right for your question. But the real thing is, the most of the industry nowadays using the many data and the sources available from the industry, right? Actually, the most of the data we can't see. Such a kind of data means error data. That's a small data we can find that. So once you're using the data analytics and data mining, we can convert it into the information. Such kind of information.
That's about business intelligence as such. Like when business intelligence is in picture, what they do is that they do the data analytics, take out the data, and then from the data, you are screening out the data which is needed for you. Am I right? So, what are how is this predictive maintenance as well as the big data analysis or the business intelligence related? That's my question. Now,
yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. So, predictive maintenance, ma'am, predictive maintenance, such a kind of errors only, not only happening in machineries. It's only for the labors and industry environment. All the things also affecting the machineries production and the product also. Such kind of also very useful for the predictive maintenance, ma'am. Ma'am, can you, ma'am?
No, I just wanted to know that how is it related? Like, are you using artificial intelligence and trying to mine out what kind of data you're mining out? I couldn't understand. We were talking about data mining and warehousing, and then it's the relation with predictive maintenance. So that I couldn't really make out, like, how do you relate these two factors for predictive maintenance? You collect all the data and then do you forecast it, and then from there you collect, screen out, and then you do any kind of an approach, you make use of any kind of an approach, and then you develop a system using, say, waterfall or any other agile method, or then you do it like, usually in the systems we do like that. So do you do something where by which you connect the big data or the the data
Yes,
mining
ma'am.
process with that of
Yes, ma'am.
predictive maintenance? That was my question.
Yes,
Okay, and
ma'am.
how is
Let
it
me-
very prevalent in this situation? Like, okay, fine, predictive maintenance is there. You try to predict what is happening, generally, what is happening in the future, and you are trying to maintain your equipments, and so that there is no pitfalls or the production goes on well. There is no, I hope, I'm not an engineering person. As far as my understanding and the red knowledge, I think it goes like that. So how is it very much prevalent in a situation like this predictable environment? What is the scope of your study in this particular environment? Yes, Tanerisa?
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, predictive maintenance is used for the only for preventive maintenance is the prevent. For example, we take our motors. It's capable for the 3 or 4 months, but we are 2 months. Once time we are maintenance in the motor, right? Actually, the 1 month validity will be extended, but the real capability is 3 months. But we are 1 or 2 months. Once time we are maintenance, but the 1 year capability of the cost is high. At the same times, we are using the data and all things. We have to predict apart from the concerns and the labs. We can finding the such information. It is about it's our consumption, ma'am.
Okay, so you mean to say
Am I
that when
right?
you do the predictive maintenance, you have a better replacement policy, am I right?
Yeah. Am I right?
No, it's like we are delving, we are understanding from you. I already told you that it's not like I know the answer and I am asking you to get the right answer from you. No, it's not that way. It's like we are studying from you. We are learning from you. So, and we are all management, people, and we are not much into this engineering. I hope Dr. Joyce Thomas also will agree with me because we don't know much into the engineering thing.
Yes, ma'am.
We have the red knowledge of data mining and warehousing and artificial intelligence and predictive analysis and all that we are moving right. Well, going through right. Thank you, Tanerisa and Ramakrishna.
Yeah, ma'am. Anyway, thank you so much, ma'am.
Joy, sir.
Yes, sir, it's fine with me, sir.
Yes, sir. Any queries from the audience side? Any queries? Yes, sir. Devi ma'am, Rejoice sir, can we move on to the next? Yes.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Reverend. So currently I am doing my MBA in Christ. Good morning, everyone. My name is Kiran. So currently I am
It's
doing
not at
my
all
MBA
clear,
in
sir.
Christ University, Bangalore.
We can't even make out one single word from what the recording is. Can you just make it a little more audible?
One second, ma'am. Mr. Govind Kiran. Mr. Govind Kiran.
Yes, sir.
You're there, right?
Yeah.
Okay. The recorded video which you send is the volume is a bit low. Any of panel
No,
members
it has sound, sir.
difficult. If you want, you can directly present it.
Sir, it has sound, but I don't know what happened.
Okay, but your video is. I hope you can see the
Sir,
video.
it has sound, but yeah, I can see it.
But the volume is not that much clear.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Kiran. So currently I'm doing my MBA in Christ University, Bangalore. So today I'm here to present my paper on the topic Portfolio Construction with 8 Mutual Fund Schemes. So these are the 8 funds which I have taken to construct the portfolio. So I have taken the quarterly returns for 5 years. I have taken from equity, debt and hybrid. From equity, I have taken Axis Blue Chip Fund, Canara Robeco Blue Chip Equity Fund and Mirai Asset Emerging Blue Chip Fund. From debt base, I have taken Nippon India Gilt Securities, SBI Magnum Medium Duration Fund and Axis Banking and PSU Debt Fund. From hybrid, I have taken HDFC Balanced Advantage Fund and ICICI Prudential Equity and Debt Fund. So these are the 8 funds which I have taken to construct the portfolio. So the main objectives of portfolio construction is to diversify the risk, determine the mix of investment, variability of return is reduced and maximize the return in the long term for a given level of risk. So investors have the option to invest in different funds. The proportion of weights to each funds can be allotted by the investors. So diversification of risk is possible to the investors, and also determine the mix of investment. The investors can determine the mix of investments, whether they have to invest in equity, debt or hybrid. And also the variability of return is reduced, and maximize the return in a long term for a given level of risk. For a particular risk which the investor is taking, they will get the maximum return for that particular risk. So these are statistical tools which I have used, which is standard deviation, beta, variance, semi-variance, coefficient of variance, correlation coefficient. So this is a final result which I have got after constructing the optimum portfolio. So here we can see that equally weighted portfolio and optimum portfolio. So when we construct equally weighted portfolio with 8 funds, we can see an expected return of 28.641% with a standard deviation of 2.89 and a Sharpe ratio of 8.63. When we compare it to optimum portfolio, we can see that expected return is 28.1235, which is slightly less than equally weighted portfolio, but the standard deviation also slightly less, that is 2.53. Here we can see that the Sharpe ratio is higher in optimum portfolio. The investors have to consider the Sharpe ratio while selecting a portfolio. Sharpe ratio indicates risk-adjusted return. So higher the Sharpe ratio, much more the fund will be. So here we can see that the sum, which sector-wise sum, that is from equity base we are getting a 30%, and from debt we are getting an investor is getting a 40% return, and from hybrid he is getting a 30% return. So these are the findings from the study. It is clear that optimum portfolio fund minimizes your risk for a given level of return or maximizes your return for a given level of risk. In an optimum portfolio, the risk is diverged into different funds, as it has said in the objectives, which helps the investors not rely on one fund, and also compare the return and standard deviation of each fund while selecting the optimum portfolio. While selecting optimum portfolio, the investor have to consider the Sharpe ratio. Sharpe ratio above 1 is considered as good, so the investor should select the optimum portfolio with higher Sharpe ratio. Also, Sharpe ratio indicates the risk-adjusted return, so the investors have to always consider Sharpe ratio while selecting an optimum portfolio. So this is about my study. So thank you.
Yes, Mr. Govind Kiran. Yes, can you
Yes, sir.
open your video? You can open the video, and so that the panel members can see you and ask questions directly. Yes, Devi ma'am, Rejoice sir.
Yes.
What were your primary hypotheses or objectives, hypotheses and objectives of the study?
Sorry, sir, it's not clear. I cannot.
Can you just tell me your objectives and hypotheses for the study?
So the main objective is to diversification of the risk. Hello?
All right, okay. Did you take any hypothesis? Did you have any hypothesis?
Hello?
Mr. Govind Kiran?
Hello, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes,
My
Mr. Govind
bandwidth
Kiran,
is
kindly turn on the
so
video,
low, sir.
and Rejoice sir is asking a few queries.
Yeah. Hello, sir.
Yes, Govind Kiran, sir is asking a few queries. Kindly respond and kindly
Yeah,
open
okay,
the video.
okay. Sir, my bandwidth is too low. Can I switch off the video?
Okay, fine, no problem.
Okay, sir. Sir, we didn't take any hypothesis because we selected the funds randomly.
Okay. Devi ma'am?
Okay, Govind, you have studied the portfolio mix, isn't it? Right, Govind?
Yes, yeah, ma'am.
How to constitute
Yes,
a
ma'am.
portfolio mix. That's right? Okay.
Yeah.
Now, it's a
Yes,
very
ma'am.
plain question from my side. I'm a professor, Govind Kiran. Now,
Okay.
a person who is basically likes moderate kind of risk. Okay. Now, suggest, just give me the percentages of the debt equity balanced mix for my portfolio. For a professor like me, who is salaried and who has got moderate temper for risk management.
Yeah.
Just give me, you just constitute a portfolio for me. Probably I can work it on your lines.
Yeah, okay, sure. Ma'am, maybe it will be 60-40, 60% in debt and 40% in equity, I will suggest.
Okay, what about the
In
balance
my
ones
study,
you
also,
don't?
the debt is contributing more percentage. Like here we can see that 40% is contributing by debt. So
Okay.
for a moderate risk person, I will suggest debt, contribute more to debt than
Okay,
equity.
okay, fine. I'll take up your suggestion, and if I am reaping it high profits or returns, then I'll get back to you. Okay, now you were talking about the sharp turner model, isn't it? It was not clear. Like when the percentage of the sharp, like it increases from now one of your findings were telling something about 8, something like that, 8% or something. Now, if the value is somewhere close to 10, then what will you suggest? Should we go for that particular equity or not?
Ma'am, are you asking about the Sharpe ratio?
Yes, exactly. Sharp ratio, you were talking
Ma'am,
about the
if
sharp ratio.
the Sharpe,
Now, if the
yeah, ma'am,
percentage,
if the
as the
Sharpe ratio is
percentage,
about 10%, the
the sharp
investor
percentage,
should always consider with the fund with higher Sharpe ratio, ma'am.
okay, fine. So, which are these funds or the equity funds generally on your analysis? Okay, you being a finance student, which has a higher Sharpe ratio? Can you cite some stocks, equity-based stocks, which is usually having Sharpe ratio which is high, or which sector companies of which sector? So that when we buy the stock or shares, we can concentrate on that. That's my idea.
Ma'am, maybe blue chip funds,
Blue chip funds
I
will
guess,
have more
because
sharp
I have,
percentage. What
yeah,
about
I guess.
FMCG? What about
Yes, ma'am.
FMCG?
FMCG, ma'am, it may fluctuate according to the time, ma'am. So it's
Okay,
more
according. So
constant in blue chip funds.
now at this present, when we are all affected by pandemic, we have this COVID on our head, and then all those things. Now, which sector would you suggest me to have my portfolio mix woven? Like, which sector would you like me to invest in? Whether is it blue chip or whether it is
Ma'am,
FMCG or infrastructure power, whatever it is.
Ma'am, in the COVID pandemic, I will suggest to go for pharma sector, ma'am. Pharmaceuticals.
Oh, that's a brilliant answer. Thank you, Govind. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Thank you, ma'am. Okay. Thank you, ma'am.
Yes, since Dr. Rejoice sir has another class to be handled, I will be taking on his behalf. I will be chairing up on his behalf. So me and Professor Devi ma'am will be combining together and then moving ahead, because Rejoy sir has immediately said right now that he has another session to attend. So Devi ma'am, I will just be along with you, madam, because sir has another session. So hope it's not a problem.
No, not at all, sir.
Thank you.
Welcome to the
Thank
session.
you, ma'am. Thank you.
I'm welcoming you, in fact, for the session.
Thank you, ma'am. Yes. Any other queries from the audience? Any other queries that you can ask to Govind Kiran? Because many of the BBA students are waiting for that. They want to know more about share market trading and all. So Govind Kiran has hopefully given you much more better insights.
Yeah, it's actually very prevalent,
Yes.
Prevalent question and relevant also, because at this point of time, how we should invest in the shares and what should be the percentage of equity debt ratio, everything matters. Because first, our salaries, it is all, sometimes most of the companies have cut short the salaries, there is layoffs, some people don't have jobs, so all these things are there. So how to invest whatever money you have is a important question to be, answered.
Yes, ma'am.
So the audience, you can ask questions to Govind Kiran so that he will be giving you a better insight into the topic.
I think one of my student, Mr. Ebin, is he available? Because he is much more, and then Mohammed Shijaz. These two people are very much interested regarding investment and share market. I hope my students are there. Ebin and Shijaz, are you available? Mr. Ebin? Ebin and Shijaz, are you available? Mohammed Shijaz? Because he's the right person, because these two people are really interested. Okay, anyhow, we will move on with the other paper. Yes, okay. Yes, now I invite Mr. Ajay K. Jason. Mr. Ajay K. Jason.
Yes, sir.
Yes, Mr. Ajay. Yes, yes, you're there. Okay, you're comfortably sitting over there. Now, shall we present the video? Yes, okay.
Good morning to one and all present here. I am Ajay K. Jason, currently pursuing my MBA from Christ University, Bangalore. My research topic is an equity research on listed FMCG companies in India.
It is the largest growing industry sector, not only in India but across the world. If you see, India is a consumer-driven market with consumer spending in the country projected to be more than or double by 2025. These days, the Indian consumer segment is broadly classified into urban markets and rural markets, attracting marketers across the globe. Global corporations see India as a key market for the future. The government in the country's consumer market is largely driven by a young demographic and rising disposable income. If India sustains this current pace of growth for the foreseeable future, average household income will be triple over the next 20 years, and the country will be the world's fifth largest consumer economy by 2025. If we see, India has the potential to become the world's largest middle-class consumer market with an aggregate consumer spend of nearly 13 trillion US dollars by 2030. Online retailing, both direct and via marketplaces, will grow threefold to become a rupees 50,000 crores industry in India. This will increase to 50 to 55% per year over the next 3 years. This was a report given by Crystal. The research involves forecasting the future prices of stocks based on fundamental analysis on economic, industry, and company analysis. The two companies that I have taken for my research is HUL and ITC Limited. It's an equity-based research. And equity research involves analyzing a company's financials, performing ratio analysis, forecasting the financials, and exploring the scenarios with the objective of buying or selling the stock investment recommendation. Coming to the industry profile, finance service industry. The Indian financial sector is an important sector of the economy that is made up of firms and institutions that provide financial services to both commercial and as well as retail customers. If you see, the financial service industry is the backbone of any country's economic growth and development. It includes a broad range of activities like banking, investing, insurance, etc. And it comprises of mutual funds, pension funds, insurance companies, stock brokers, wealth managers, and other commercial banks. The growth of financial service industry is nearly around 8.5% in India, and India is one of the best capital markets in the world. The financial service industry grows as the income of the individual increases, and it is expected to reach around 26.5 trillion by the year 2022. The methodology used in this research is fundamental analysis. It includes macroeconomic analysis, industry analysis, company analysis, and valuation. Macroeconomic analysis included GDP, fiscal deficit, crude oil, macro policies, geopolitical risk, etc. Study on industry analysis showed an outlook on the performance of the company with its competitors, and it included SWOT analysis, Porter's five forces, PESTEL analysis. Company analysis gave an idea on company's performance with financial ratios and corporate actions. These analyses helped in understanding the company's position, current trend, and showed how to forecast the prices and find their intrinsic values. Business valuation is a general process of determining the economic value of a whole business or a company unit. Business valuation can be used to determine the fair value of a business for a variety of reasons, including their sales value, establishing partner ownership, taxation, and even closing down the business. Owners often turn to be professional business evaluators for an objective estimate to evaluate their own business and to understand where they should be. Coming to the research problem, if we see, HUL and ITC are the two major players in the FMCG industry in India. HUL happens to be a pure play FMCG, whereas ITC is a conglomerate. This research helps in analyzing and comparing the overall performance of these two companies. This performance comparison further draws down to analyze their financial performance, market performance, and supply chain performance. These three sub-angles together will fulfill and make the research comprehensive enough. After doing the valuation of both HUL and ITC, I could understand that the growth of sales is expected to come down drastically, and there is a slowdown in the consumption in the local market being a major reason for the same. International business, which was accounted as a good part of both the company's revenue, is also expected to come down further. Pandemic has affected the beauty care products, but also has brought a hike in the demand for healthcare products. The company has included healthcare and immunity boosting products to their portfolio. The intrinsic value and target price of HUL and PE using PE valuation was found to be rupees 1623.44, 23.44 rupees. but the market price was seen as 1988.4 rupees, and the stock was overvalued. In the case of intrinsic value and target price of ITC by PE valuation was found to be rupees 204.18 and rupees 183.76. The market price was seen at rupees 194.3, and it was seen that the shares were undervalued. So coming to the conclusion part, as we saw, the HUL shares were overvalued. So it is advised for the investors not to buy any more shares. And if we see, the ITC's intrinsic value is 204.187 rupees and the current price is 194.3 rupees. So these shares are undervalued, and it is advised for the investors to keep their shares and buy more and buy more. If we see, HUL's overall strategy was focusing on mass category with well thought out brands to be seen working at present. With this as a good strategy for sustainable business, it needs to get its grip better and firm in other segments as well. Some of the recommendations that I found or would suggest to the company was grow portfolio in medium segment product category to improve gross profit margin at company level. I think they must improve their footprint in food and beverages category, as current marketing campaigns does not seem to be working good enough. And coming to the ITC relies more on tobacco business, which can be susceptible to any future health related regulations that can come across and might even affect their business. Hence, emphasis should be done on reducing dependency on tobacco business and grow other businesses. Some of the recommendations that I could suggest was to reduce the dependency on tobacco business by growing other tobacco businesses. Marketing campaign needs to be thought on par with other FMCG companies. The supply chain efficiency needs to be improved so as to free up capital from inventory and invest in marketing and advertising campaigns. Hence, I conclude my presentation. Thank you all, and thank you Yuvakshetra College for giving me an opportunity to present my paper in this international.
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, you
Yeah,
can.
Your presentation was good enough, and it was also related.
Sorry, ma'am. Ajay, can you just open up your video so that we can see you?
Yes, sir.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, Ajay. Good afternoon, Ajay.
Good afternoon.
And your presentation was good enough, and it was also related to the pandemic times. Now, you were talking about HUL has to concentrate on the mid-segment category, isn't it? For coming out of the. Now, can you just tell me or put light on what are the categories which they have to, and what FMCG is my cup of tea, so I'll be asking a few questions on that.
Yes, ma'am.
So,
Ma'am, they have products mainly on healthcare and cosmetics, beauty care, and soaps, detergents, and
And they have acquired a very famous brand recently, isn't it? HUL, can you tell me the brand which they have acquired from GlaxoSmithKline? I mean, Glaxo, GSK. What was the brand which they acquired, and has it helped HUL to really pep up their share prices even during the pandemic?
Ma'am, GlaxoSmith.
They have acquired a brand from GSK, probably in 2019, 2018, 2019, the acquisition happened. A brand acquisition had taken place by Unilever.
Okay.
Can you name the brand, please, Ajay?
Ma'am, I think it's Horlicks.
Yeah, it's Horlicks. Yeah. Now, how far Horlicks has helped them? Now, as you were telling that they have not concentrated much on the food and beverages category. So that the acquisition of Horlicks from GSK was something to pep up their food and beverages category. Now, yes, how has this acquisition of this big brand helped Unilever? Has it helped Unilever during pandemic, or which brand in Unilever has helped them or helped in, reaping profits during pandemic?
Ma'am, during pandemic, as I mentioned in my presentation, so they had reduced their beauty care products and concentrated more on healthcare products and immunity boosting products like Horlicks. So the revenue they got more was from soaps, hand washes, detergents, and all those cleaning.
Which was the main trump card for Unilever during pandemic? Which brand was the trump card for them? This brand turned the tables for Unilever. Which brand was that? And finally, they were also sued in the court because they professed, or they started telling that it's something like extraordinary, something like that. They are also another company has filed a case as well. Which is the trump card brand of Unilever during pandemic? The hand sanitizer. It is the Lifebuoy. The sanitizers, which became the trump card for Unilever during pandemic. And again, they were sued for the same because and now the product is not in the market. Initially, when the COVID was there, I'm just putting light on a few things because there are audience also listening to the same. They came up with a sanitizer which is known as immunity booster. And that was something out of the whole, box, where how can a sanitizer become an immunity booster? So the other competitive companies like ITC, as you have suggested, they all sued Unilever because you cannot come up with a product like sanitizer which can boost your immunity. That looks so absurd and stupid. So they are facing a court case presently. And this Lifebuoy really, turned the tables. I think the profit soared really very high during February and March for Unilever. Then how far you mean to say that the future of ITC is there? Like in the supply chain management of ITC when it comes to cigarettes is really good. So how far it will help ITC to boost up the other brands in their kitty? Please talk in terms of the financial perspective, because that's what you have been presenting.
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, if you see now, ITC is moving more into other business. They have paper business, hotel chains, they have FMCG products, and currently they are also into this healthcare products like Savlon brand. Ma'am, even they have tied up with Big Basket also. And while coming to the future, maybe there can be any government policies that can affect their tobacco business. So they're diversifying their entire business.
Okay.
Yes, Mr. Ajay.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Ajay, yes. Okay. Just one simple question alone.
Okay, sir.
What are the implications that you can provide for the society, for the business, for the industry, and as well as for the academics from your research? Just a simple question alone. What implications Or what are the benefits that the society or the business or the academic point of view? What are the benefits that one about your research, about your project? Can you just give me an insight on that one?
Sir, if you see, the world is currently being changing, and new technologies and new system or new style of business is happening. So it won't be the same when you see it for the future. So we must know how to, like, if you are an investor, we must to know where to invest, how much to invest, and how will the business be. So it's if it's necessary to know their income and their business style, and this will help us in um, investing our money.
And the one thing which I really understood from Ajay's project, which he made very clear, is when you have two FMCG companies, the market price, where when it is undervalued, we need to invest and we need to keep the shares. Am I right? That's a learning.
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
That's great. That's very good. Okay, Ajay, that's all from my side. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ajay.
Thank you, sir.
Very good project. Let's keep on doing it, okay? Make it into a PhD work soon.
Yes, sure.
Right? Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Yes. Now I request Miss Amrita P. Amrita P, can you just unmute yourself? Can you unmute and open up the video? Amrita P. Miss Amrita. Yes, Amrita. Yes. Okay. I'm going to play the video, your record video of the paper presentation. All right. Kindly be waiting. All right. Yes.
Good afternoon to everyone present here. I am Amrita, MCOM student of Yoshitra Institute of Management Studies. Today I am here to present a paper on the topic Employee Retention Strategies during COVID-19 with special reference to Poonthottam Ayurveda Hospital. The recent pandemic in the form of COVID-19 has created a lot of mess all over the world. This pandemic has left a lot of adverse impact on the economic well-being of the economies that includes clashes of jobs. This paper presents the employee retention strategies with reference to Poonthottam Ayurveda Hospital. The main focus of the paper is to provide relevant information required by the management to evolve retention strategy during this pandemic situation. The study was conducted among 70 employees of Poonthottam Ayurveda Hospital and the data collected through well-structured questionnaire. I used simple percentage method, ANOVA, and regression analysis for analysis purpose. Employee retention is a process in which the employees are encouraged to remain with the organization for the maximum period of time. It is beneficial to the employee as well as employer. As we all know, human resource is considered as a backbone of every organization. Modern business organization can't achieve success without this lively element. Especially during pandemics, employees are the strategic assets of every organization that has to be managed, preserved, and retained. Taking care of employees are the responsibility of management. Financial benefits are the most valuable factors which increases retention. Job retention schemes have been one of the main policy tools used by the number of countries to reduce the crisis. Job retention schemes include work from home, online training, online counseling, etc. Purpose of the study. The purpose of this paper is to examine impact of COVID-19 on Poonthottam Ayurveda Hospital and also to examine the tools adopted by the management to increase employee retention. Scope of the study. The study aims to understand the factors influencing retention. Objectives. To study the perception of employees and management about the factors influencing to retained employees in the organization, to know about the retention strategies adopted by the organization, and to recommend possible strategies to sustain employees during the pandemic situation. I used convenient sampling method for the study. The total sample size consists of 70 employees from different departments. Benefits on company perspective. The company can reduce labor turnover. They can improve work efficiency. On social perspective, customer gets good quality products at reasonable prices. Retention strategies is a big relief to the employees during this pandemic situation. On academic perspective, this study helps to know more about organization behavior, perception, stress management, and attitude of a human resource. Findings. Most of the employees say that good working conditions influence them to retain in the organization. Only few have a negative opinion about that. The company provides good entertainment programs to get relief from their busy schedule. Most of the employees are satisfied with the present motivation programs conducted by the organization. From regression analysis, we proved that job satisfaction factors having significant impact on employee retention. NMO test found that there is a significant relationship between job satisfaction and employee perception. Suggestions. The company should conduct retention programs to retain employees in the organization. The management should maintain good and strong relationship between the employees. Management should change working hours and provide shifts to the workers. It helps to retain the best employees in the organization. The company should identify the training needs of employees and provide it through online. Organizations should provide online counseling to protect the employees from depressed mindset. The company should adopt more retention programs to avoid resignation of employees. I conclude, the employees are satisfied with the retention strategies adopted by the organization. New methods and online counseling help them to retain in their job during this worst situation. Thank you.
Yes, okay, Amrita.
Yes, sir.
Yes, 1 second. Clearly, very good presentation. It's really nice. Now, just to start off with a few simple questions I need to ask you. It's from research side I'm asking, research methodology. Okay. Can you tell me why you choose convenience sampling?
Hello. Hello,
Why
sir.
yes. Why did you choose convenience sampling?
There is only a few employees are there, sir. So it is very easy to collect information from them. So I choose convenience sampling for collecting
So
information.
you already knew the respondents, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so that was, and your area was much more in a very minute location, isn't it?
Yes,
That
sir.
I mean, minute location in the sense like it's one single place you need to check out, right?
Yes, yes, sir.
Okay, fine. Another question which I need to ask you is, did any what you can say, any literatures review, any literatures you reviewed so far?
Yes, sir.
Or this only a few books?
Yes, sir.
Okay, fine. Okay, ma'am, Devi ma'am.
Yeah, I'll get from you, sir. From the same question I'll ask. What is the total number of employees working in Poondotam Ayurveda hospital?
70 employees, ma'am.
So the total number of employees is 70 in Ayurveda hospital? Yeah, Amrita, yeah?
Yes, ma'am. 70 to 80 employees are there, ma'am.
So 70 to 80, that means we have taken 70. Then it doesn't become sampling technique, ma. It becomes a census method because you have the entire universe you have taken. What sir was pointing out is right. When it is, say, out of 80 to, you have taken almost 70, then it becomes more of like a kind of a census kind of a study. And the rest of the 10 you can actually delete because of non-response and, in order to avoid unbiasedness. So you have to make a small change in your, research that it is not sampling technique. When out of a population of 1,000, you take, say somewhere around 250 or 300, then it becomes sampling. Okay, Amrita?
Okay, ma'am.
Okay. Then generally you say that employees are very happy with the organization. Am I right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Then,
happy.
Yeah.
Most of the employees are very happy with the
Okay.
organization and all the facilities provided by the organization.
Okay. So what was the need for you to study the retention strategies in such an organization when the employees are already happy?
Most of the employees are happy with the organization, but few of them are not happy and they provide suggestion to me.
Okay. So what is the gap of the research here? Sir, you can. What was the research gap that you was trying to find out, Amrita?
Amrita,
Yeah.
yes, Amrita, madam asked a question like, what was the research gap that you were able to find out? That was a question madam asked.
Your presentation was really crisp and really fine,
Yes,
Amrita.
yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
It was really excellent. But what was the research gap here? Like, what was the problem? Already everything is fine and rosy and happy. But then why?
Yes,
What
yes.
is the need for finding out there is an employee retention strategy? When you have a gap there, you try to find out the strategies which are employed by the Ayurveda hospital. Am I right?
To know about the retention strategies adopted by the organization during this pandemic situation, ma'am.
Okay. So just can you sum out 1 or 2 or 3 retention strategies that they are following there?
Yes, ma'am. Exit interviews.
Exit interviews. Okay, then. What are the other retention strategies that they're doing in the company?
Training through online, ma'am.
Okay, online training. Then.
And provide salary at full even in this pandemic situation.
No. That is okay, fine. Salary, they're paying the full salary. Okay, that's in this situation, it's a retention strategy only. Okay. Yeah, anything from HR perspective they are doing, like some kind of psychological reassurances or recreational activities online.
And they provide entertainment programs to them.
Okay, some kind of health insurances.
ESI.
Yeah, come out. You have all the answers, Amrita. Come out with your answers. So what are they doing?
To the workers.
Yeah.
And they provide concession to the medicine, concessions in medicine.
Okay.
And provide free treatment also.
Free treatments. Okay. So apart from the statutory benefits, the pandemic responses are also there during the COVID times. They are. Is it like their family members can also avail their ESI benefits and other, the pharmaceutical benefits that we were talking about?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Okay, so generally the employees are very happy because of you can put it in that way. Generally the employees are very happy because of the retention strategies there. Okay. Okay, thank you, Amrita. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, Amrita. Yes, participants from, any questions from participant side? Any questions? Any questions? Okay, so now we will move on with our next presentation by Ms. Deepa Jitesh. She's already been live from from morning itself. Yes, I'm seeing you for a long time, like 2 hours has been passed, 2-3 hours have been passed. You've been there. Okay, now your presentation is about to be played. All right, Deepa ma'am. Yes, Deepa Jitesh. Yes, we'll put on once again.
Good morning. I am Deepa K, working as an assistant professor in PG Department of Commerce and Management Studies, Mount Sinai College of Arts and Science. So I am now taking the topic on the various uncertain conditions for the. So let's continue. Let me continue with the topic. That is, I am having the portions of employees' situation in this uncertain situation. Okay. So this is an international seminar, a study on quality of work life of employees in the uncertain situation. So let's start. Let me start the topic. So quality of work life, which refers to the level of satisfaction, motivation, involvement, and commitment of individuals which experience a respect to their life, because today's day-to-day life, quality of work life is very much important. Okay? Because the quality, everyone is facing the need for the quality, and which is very much important to satisfy their personal needs for an employer to complete the work with 100% determination and satisfaction. Next, I am moving on to the objectives of quality of work life. Why the objectives, or why we are moving on to the quality of work life, and why we are looking on to the objectives? Because it improves the employee satisfaction. First of all, we have to see the employee satisfaction, and next one, it improves the physical and psychological health, because mentally and physically the person should be very much active and healthy to do the work. Then only he or she can complete the work in 100% satisfaction, and it will reach the aim and objectives of the organization. And the last objective will be the employees which create positive feeling. When there is a healthy atmosphere, then only the employees can create a very positive feeling towards the organization. So next one is the research methodology. The present study is designed as a descriptive one, mainly based on the secondary data, and the data source is secondary from the past records, journals, etc. that I am going on to the discussed here, and I am going to give the general study of the employees from different companies, because I have not concentrated on a single company. I have done on many companies. I have just inquired the employees from different areas. So it is a secondary data, and also I have gone through the records and journals also. Okay. Next one is the quality of work life needs three major important parts. The first one is occupational health care. So what is an occupational health care? It means that safe work environment provides the basis for the people to enjoy the work. So if the person wants to enjoy the work, then the health care is very much important there. The work should not pose health hazard. So it should be very safe, and it should not create any health hazard. So the next one is a suitable working time. Companies should observe the number of working hours and the standard limits on overtime also. Once the person is ready to do the overtime, it doesn't mean that company is going to completely make the person do the work 24/7. That's not a correct aspect. So there should be overtime, but there should not be a limit on that. Next, vacations, taking free holidays, national holidays, everything should be given to them also. Next one is the appropriate salary. The main thing that I have to discuss today's aspect is the appropriate salary. Because of this corona aspect, many of the companies are not ready to give the salary also. And even if they are giving, they need a lot of the companies. They need means they are cutting a lot of salary also. So that is the main important thing. So appropriate salary should be given, because in today's criteria and in today's situation, salary should be is a very much important aspect. So if a person is not getting a proper salary, then the quality of work life will deteriorate, and the health problem will be there. Mentally and psychologically the person will be down, then that person will not be able to do the work properly. So that's the main thing here, that is appropriate salary also. Okay. Next is the importance of quality of work life. Okay. Importance of quality of work life is it enhances the stakeholders' relation and credibility. That is, it means a growing number of companies which focuses on the quality of work life, which improve the relationship with the other stakeholders also. Because the stakeholders means the persons who in every aspect who are the well-wishers of the company. So it also creates a very much important aspect here. And next, it reduces the absenteeism. If the quality of work life is very much good, then it reduces the absenteeism. Then it benefits the family and communities. Good quality of work life give a good standard of living, and a good standard of living thereby leads to the good families and communities, and a healthy and happy family, which creates a very good community also and a good environment also. Next one is the job involvement. Job involvement here is very much important, because if there is a quality of work life and healthy quality of work life, which means the degree of job, and the people put their best to the job, which report good performance also. They view their job as the satisfying needs, and they doesn't see that it is some others' work. They feel that it's their own duty, it's on their family matter, and they will do the work with 100% satisfaction. Okay. Next, I'm going on to the problems in improving the quality of work life. So there is two aspects in every side. There is a problems also is there. It's a dead end job. First one I'm going to say is the dead end job. So what is the dead end job? Work which does not offer opportunity for growth and promotion is one of the greatest reason for the employee's demotivation. So everyone who is doing the work should need some types of motivation and some types of growth also. If there is no such type of growth, the person will not be motivated, which leads to the high demotivation and non-commitment. Jobs which deprive employees of self-development and growth opportunities also lead to the dissatisfaction and disloyalty. Next point in problem is the managing by intimidation. Means mistreating the people and managing them by stress, by giving them threat and by harassing them. It creates a very bad environment also. Next one is a negative working environment. So negative working environment with non-acceptance by the colleagues, non-cooperation, too much politics, red tapeism, negative behavior by the colleagues, supervisors and other peoples, by the other peoples in the company, which hamper the commitment. And at the end of the day, people want the peace. Okay. Apart from money, people want the peace. So if they are not getting the peace from the work, it also improves it also gives a very bad impact on the quality of work life. Next one is poor regard and recognition. Poor regard and recognition means which gives if we are giving the bad poor reward, means if we are not making them aware that we are not making them feel that they are not doing the work properly, and we are not giving them proper reward for their work, and we are not recognizing them for their work, if we are not accepting their work, it creates a very much bad impact. Next one is non-job security. One of the major needs of the employees is job security. Everyone who is doing a job needs a secure life and a secure job. And if the employees feel that he can lose his job at any time, that person will never be committed towards the job. Next on the topic is the negative attitude. So some employees by nature are not committed to anything, and anyone as much as they would not be committed to their employers also. So if a person is having a negative attitude, that person will not be able to do the work properly, and to the employees, to the employers, and even to the society, and even to himself or herself, that person will be having a negative attitude. So the commitment is an attitude, and those who lack it will not be committed to their jobs. Okay, next one is some of the findings and suggestions. So things from that I have find out from the inquiry of the people are: company have high technical caliber, company should maintain a good relation, management should give a high priority on the safety of employees, company should maintain a good salary and fringe benefits, then company should give holidays and arrange leisure trips also. Okay. And that next last one is the conclusion. In this study, the data was collected from the secondary sources, and the main problem was the internal conflicts like hierarchy and gender. Therefore, the companies should pay more attention on this, and the company should make the more benefits by better coordination and good relation also. So, thank you.
Deeva ma'am? Yes, sir. Devi ma'am, you can.
Yeah,
She's
hello,
very
Deepa.
eager to get the queries.
I've seen you. I have seen you. I'm seeing you for a long time there.
Yes, ma'am.
Deepa,
Yes,
how
ma'am.
are you? How are you doing? I think you have to unmute your mic, Deepa. You have to unmute your mic and then speak. Your mic is.
Okay, yeah, fine, ma'am. Fine, thank you. Sorry.
Okay. Now, for studying this quality of work life, which are the companies like you have visited? How did you take the completely on secondary data?
Yes, ma'am. I didn't visit to the companies personally because of this corona time. The traveling is not possible. So I inquired from the employees from my nearby home. They're working from Sharnoor Metal Industries and EP companies, Palappuram, as well as distilleries in Lekdi, Kutubada. So few workers are there for residing my home, so nearby my home. So just I inquired about them. What is the problem they are facing in this pandemic situation from the companies as well as in their work life?
Okay. Now, is there any change in the quality of life among these employees post-COVID? Like, is there any difference in the
Yes, ma'am. Yes, comparison means before this corona time, they were getting good salary as well as their traveling. Everything was paid by the companies itself. But after this corona time, the salary they have drastically cut down to 50%. Even they are not giving 70%. They are giving only 50%. But the expenses are the same. The expenses is not reduced by the families, but the income is reduced. So by that, they are facing a lot of problem. They just told me like that.
Okay. So, like some of your suggestions I have seen, like you were suggesting, like pleasure trips can be taken up, and then the salary has to be paid. All the suggestions you have put up in the second last slide. Now, how far is it going to be, relevant at this point of time when we are in the midst of Corona? Like taking out for pressure trips, and even the companies are also having a depression at this point of time.
Yes, ma'am. So they are telling that pleasure trips means just they want the pleasure trip in the sense that after this corona and by facing the stress, they want to come out of the stress. Even they're ready to cope up with the 50% salary, but especially this Onam time, the salary is not enough. The half salary is not enough, but they are telling that at least they could have given some suggestions that we will take you somewhere or we will give you the pleasure trip or the funding for the pleasure trip as well as some incentives for the festival. So nothing is given from that side, and we are hopefully that they will give, and they are very depressed in that way. So they were giving the suggestions in that sense, ma'am.
Okay, it's like, did you have any kind of an classification, like how many the companies, classification regarding the companies, like with respect to the number of employees, like have you taken up those companies where the number of employees were more than 20? Is it so?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. There are companies. Yes, ma'am. The companies are more than 20, but only in one company, distillery, that company is running in loss, and other all companies are in
I'm
good
not
profit.
talking about the loss or the revenue thing. I'm telling, like, generally in HR, we have got classifications, like even the government says that if the number of employees are more than 20, benefits. So have you visited such companies where the number of employees were more, where they are already enjoying certain statutory and non-statutory and benefits like the EPF?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. These companies are having more than 50 staff in their institution. Yes.
So automatically they will be having
They
all
will be
the
having.
benefits which is
Yes.
mandatory and which has been put forward by the government.
The government, yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Okay. And there is no doubt, like Deepa will answer the question because she is a faculty member, and
Yes, ma'am.
because you're used to this.
Yes,
And
ma'am.
thank you, Deepa.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you,
Thank you,
ma'am.
ma'am. I'm not at all asking any further questions because you already made the presentation very well, which a much more effective way. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir.
Yes,
Thank you.
now we are
Thanks for a
moving to
lot
the
to give opportunity to participate in this event, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank
Hoping to
you.
meet you soon. Hoping to meet you
Yeah,
soon.
sure. Oh,
Thank
sure,
you.
sure,
Thank
sir.
you.
Sure. Okay. Thank you.
Yes, now we're coming to the last presentation of the day. One is Miss Abhirami and Miss Shilpa. Miss Abhirami and Shilpa, can you just unmute and open up the video? Abhirami?
Yes, sure.
Yes. Devi ma'am, she's our student. She's our final year student, and we are really happy that she's also, both of them are doing the presentation. And she's the final year BBA student. Yes. Okay, Abhirami, you're all set?
Oh, your BBA. Oh, okay, fine. Yeah.
She's very eager
All
to
the best,
do a presentation.
all the best, Abhirami and Shilpa. Okay.
Yes. Okay, I'll play the video. I'll play the video.
Mahesh of 3rd BBA, Yuvakshetra Institute of Management Studies. I and my friend Abhinami Narayan is going to present a research paper on the topic Strategies to Overcome the Pandemic Situation Caused by COVID-19 in Business. So let's look into the extract now. COVID-19 pandemic has hit the entire world very hard. The impact on startups and small companies is brutal. It had also slowed down the progress and even made some stand still. Planning for short duration should be the mantra. Instead of long-term plans, that is 3 months, 6 months plan should be made. Business should establish a dedicated team to ensure the health and safety of the colleagues and customers. Entrepreneurs should accept a new set of rules and proper assessment of fixed and variable expenses is needed. This will help them for future planning. Contingency plans should be about the cash flows, profit and loss, and balance sheet. The ideal way is to stay transparent to the customers. Thus, we can emerge out victorious. Introduction. The COVID-19 pandemic has managed to not just slow down the progress on the business front, but has also led to bringing certain business and entire industries to a standstill. At the same time, online communication, online entertainment, and shopping are seeing an unprecedented growth. Review of literature. There are many informations that researchers had conducted when the world faced similar crises. We can notice the market eventually bounced back after the end of an epidemic crisis. Countries around the globe have adopted very different approaches to handle the current stress on job market. Statement of the problem. The COVID-19 outbreak is likely to cause bankruptcy for many well-known brands in many industries as consumers stay at home and economies are shut down. Personal services like hairdressers, gyms and taxis have also come to a standstill due to lockdown. While some businesses are struggling, some businesses are thriving. This is true for a number of internet-based businesses, such as those related to online entertainment, food delivery, online shopping, online education, etc. Objective of the study. The main objective of the study is to protect the business and the employees. Business should establish a dedicated team to ensure a simple but well-managed set of processes that maximize the health and safety of colleagues and customers. The focus of the team should be broken down into 4 distinct work streams: employee management and well-being, financial stress testing and contingency planning, supply chain monitoring, markets and sales. Business are advised to try to identify trigger variables that will affect revenue and cost. These triggers can be then applied to established scenarios so that cash flows, profit and loss, and balance sheets can be modeled. In order to immediately stabilize the supply chain, business should then turn their attention to pre-booking rate and air freight capacity and using after-sales stock as a bridge. Business should make a concerted effort to keep customers engaged and reassured in short term. Business of all shape and size should endeavor to support efforts to contain the spread of the virus wherever possible. Demonstrating this sense of purpose will have a positive knock-on effect to colleagues, clients, and wider business community.
Hello, I am Abhinami Narayan, studying 3rd BBA at Yuvakshetra Institute of Management Studies. I will continue with research methodology. Research methodology. Today, as we all know, the economic impact of the COVID-19 had come so quickly and hit so hard that the companies worldwide are trying to stabilize the point where it can recover. Here, we suggest that by taking price prevention methods, we can put our business in a secure position and can recover fast. Our research paper shows the strategies that is adopted by business enterprises to overcome the pandemic situation that is caused by COVID-19 in business. And we preferred secondary data collection and we collected data from newspapers, business magazines, websites, etc. Analysis and interpretation. COVID-19 conversion of business to normalcy. This bar chart shows the assumption made by us according to the data we collected after lockdown. In this figure, x-axis shows the percentage of duration that may be taken for business recovery and y-axis shows the months. The blue shows survey 1 and red shows survey 2. In survey 1, we understood that it may take 40% of duration within 3 months for the business to get into normal state. Then after 3 to 6 months, it may take 36% of duration for recovery. And in 6 to 9 months, it may take 14% time for recovery. And in 9 to 12 months, it may take only 8% duration for recovery. If more than 1 year, it may take 2% time for recovery. The red shows survey 2. In survey 2, we understood that within 3 months, it may take 41.41% of duration for recovery. And within 3 to 6 months, it may take 27.27% duration for recovery. Then within 6 to 9 months, it may take 18.18% duration for recovery. And within 9 to 12 months, it may take 8.09% duration for recovery. And if more than 1 year, then it only takes 5.05% duration for recovery. This happens only if the business follow effective steps for recovery. The important thing to be considered is customer satisfaction. In the case of clients, instead of just required after hours or weekend call answering, the clients would need more for social distancing orders. Many businesses have to close. The clients need someone to answer their calls and provide them accurate information throughout difficult time. With this knowledge, the business will be able to reposition themselves by providing services. Suggestion. First one, stay close to customers. As we all know, the customer is the king of the market. Business must update about customers' likes, preferences, and keep contact with them even in this COVID time. By following this method, we can put our business in a secured position and can recover fast. Second one, keep your employees informed and update. Keep your employees informed about the COVID-related news through official meetings, memos, etc. Regularly reviewing and updating them may help us in this situation in making contingency plan according to face the situation. Third one, establishing work from home policy. Due to COVID-19, every business enterprises are finding various methods to prevent employees coming to office. It is good to consider work from home policy. Then the employees will be safe at home and office duties will also be regular without any laggings. Next point, stabilize supply chain. In order to stabilize supply chain, the business should try to plan according to customer demand and make the supply network more resilient. And business should also focus on pre-booking rail and air freight capacity and after-sale stock, etc. to reach the product at time. Next one, protection of employees. Although employees are companies' important assets and protection must be priority number one, the companies must provide healthy environment in working place without any failure. Limitations. Although we had planned many ways to improve our business during COVID-19, but there are many limitations also. First one, transportation. Many countries have stopped their
Yes, Abhirami. Yes, yes, Abhirami.
Yes, sir.
Yes, Devi ma'am. Devi ma'am.
Yes, sir.
Sorry,
Yeah.
sorry, sorry.
Whatever.
There's a small error because the power went out over here.
Yeah,
Immediately I
technical
need to
problem
come
could
back.
be there.
Sorry, sorry, ma'am.
Yeah,
Sorry, ma'am.
no problem at all.
Sorry, sorry. Yes, Abhirami.
Yes, sir.
Abhirami and Shilpa, just unmute your volume. I mean, your audio and your video, please. Open up your video and unmute the audio, please. Yes, yes, Abhirami. Yes. You can. Yes. Okay, ma'am. You can ask the queries, ma'am.
Yeah, so that was the presentation, isn't it, Abhirami? And actually, it was a wonderful presentation, in fact, very crisp and very clear, and also very much related to pandemic responses relevant to the conference theme. You were talking about the supply chain management here. And now, like, how far do you think that in a place like Kerala, this supply chain management has been responsive during pandemic? I'm not going into much higher thing. How has Kerala responded to the supply chain management?
Ma'am, due to pandemic situation, there is transportation has been stopped.
Yeah. So what are the
Ma'am,
ways in which they have tried to overcome, the strategies to overcome? That's the topic, isn't it?
yes, ma'am.
So how are they, Kerala government or the businesses in Kerala? What are the different kinds, do you know? What are the strategies they have employed to really connect with the people and get to the people?
Keep the employees informed and update about the COVID situation. Then they can prepare contingent plans. Then
Okay, so
to the customer.
okay, to the customers, they have been continuously responding or keeping in touch with the customers. Good. Then any other things?
In the form of online shopping.
Okay, good. Okay.
Your product will reach here, then your product will reach.
Yeah, they got connected with online platforms and they started, making sure that they are reaching the customers. Very good.
And they can even buy products from the local areas. And
so what are the lines of supply chain lines that they got? What you told is right. Of course, they were getting connected with online and they were, informing the consumers. They are continuously in touch with them. And the third one was they were also concentrating the local shops. Now, do you know how they were connecting? It becomes a 360-degree answer. Like, do you know how they were connecting with the local shops? With which line they were connecting with the local shops?
if they want to transport the product, then they can do like train booking, etc., so that they get a amount of.
Very good. They were using the railway lines as well as the lines for essential commodities like milk and water to make sure that their their products were reaching these local shops. Good. Then, what was you had any kind of a primary data collection mode? Did you collect primary data through questionnaire?
No, we had after secondary data collection.
Okay, so what were the venues from which you collected the secondary data?
From newspapers, internet, business magazines.
Internet and all you had collected because you had presented an analysis. So the analysis is completely based on the secondary data. Am I right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now, which strategy of all the strategies that you have discussed here, which strategy did you find it really, very apt or up to the point, or which really fits this particular uncertain environment, according to you? It can be from any sector. You have taken employees, you have taken supply chain management, you have touched, in fact, the whole scenario, the financial part, every sector you have touched. Of this, which is the best strategy that you feel has been taken up?
Now the business should more focus on the health and safety of the colleagues and customers, and also they should choose for a short duration plans like I've already explained like 3 months, 6 months plans, and they should. The idea means they should be more transparent towards the customers.
Excellent, wonderful. Yeah. At this particular pandemic responses, the idea should be giving them psychological reassurances and also, making sure that they are healthy and fit, and you have to address what we call as the hygiene filter fever and also the pandemic psychological reassurances. Wonderful children for BBM students. I think it's a wonderful effort, and your presentation was really crisp and very, very good. And best wishes for such future endeavors. And keep going, Abrami and Shilpa. Great job. Thank you very much. And over to you, Shekhra.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Okay, ma'am. I think this is a final participant. Yes, this is a final participant. That is, we are coming to the end of this session, ma'am. Ma'am, myself, Shailaja Menon, HOD of the Department of Management.
Hello, ma'am. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, ma'am. Actually, I take this opportunity to thank all the participants for that they have presented very well, and all the participants. Ma'am, I just wanted to have you a feedback for this session.
Yeah.
Can you give a feedback for the participants in future? It will be more helpful to them, no, ma'am?
Can I make it like a generalized feedback for?
Yeah, generalized feedback only. We need that so that participants can point out where they lagged and all. No, ma'am? Oh, that's okay, ma'am. Thank you.
Okay, so
Over to you,
please,
ma'am.
thank you, Madam Shailaja. And actually, the whole we had how many papers? Let me just check it up. We had almost 7 papers on the go. And the 7 papers were touching the different aspects from predictive maintenance to housing finance to employee retention strategies to the strategies of COVID and FMCG and how to have a portfolio mix and all that. So it actually touched most of the realms of management which has to be addressed during the COVID times. And generally what I found was probably it might be due to COVID, the inertia of these researchers to go and collect the data might be one of the reasons for the over dependence on secondary data. That is understood. But anyway, the online mode of Google form doesn't stop us from getting the primary data so that we can have a real picture of analysis. So when you're having a research, when it is on a descriptive data, I feel that if it is a descriptive research design, I feel that more than having it on a secondary data, you can base it on primary data. It will give a more reliable and valid information to the readers and to you as well. I think all the papers did their part. Some of the papers were very good, which they really addressed the themes of the uncertain environment that we are in. And it was really a pleasure hearing to all of you, your new ideas and all that. And thank you very much. I should thank the HOD principal, the coordinator, Ramya ma'am, and my colleague, that is the judge and the chairman, Rejoice Thomas, and the other sir who joined me late in the evaluation. It was really a wonderful and an intellectual journey evaluating you. So it's more my thing is that you can add in more examples when you go for a presentation. So that will add a color to your presentation. Real-time examples. So the audiences can also gain a lot of insights from your research to make it a more practical oriented one. Thank you very much. Thank you for the patient listening. Thank you, ma'am. Over to you. Thank you, Shalini. Over to you.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you for your valuable suggestions. I think that will help the participants and our students, everyone in their future endeavors. Thank you, ma'am. And I would like to take this opportunity to thank you for sparing your valuable time, almost 1.5 hours for us. Thank you very much, ma'am. That is in between you. You have taken up the whole session and you have evaluated the whole papers. I think that is maybe Rejoice sir has got some other urgent meetings and all.
It's my pleasure, ma'am.
Yeah, thank you very much, ma'am. Thank you very much from the part of the Yogshetra family. Thank you, ma'am. Then I thank you all the participants, and that is they have presented very well for their cooperation. There are some technical issues. Still, then there that is you have cooperated. Thank you all. Thank you once again. Thank you, ma'am, for the listening. Thank you. Now you can leave the session, and we'll be sending the feedback link shortly. And so you will be getting a certificate. You can accept the certificate. Thank you very much. Thank you all. Thank you.